So just welcoming Daisy from RPA today. She's going to be talking to us a little bit about the company and a career in that field. So first of all, would you like to just start off by telling us a little bit about what you do and where you work?
Yep, sure. So, hello, I'm Daisy and I work at RPA in Norwich. It's a consultancy and we work in environmental and chemical consultancy. So we work for lots of different people. Our clients can range from private to public and a really broad range of different areas of work that we do and projects that we work on.
Brilliant, fantastic. And what job specifically do you do within the company?
So as a researcher, I work across both teams. My background's in economics, so I work within the economics sort of hub, as we call it, and works across both teams. Economics is really applicable to lots of different things. So my background allows me to work across the economic side that is in both chemical work and also environmental work. I predominantly work in the E&S team, which is Environment and Society, and that can cover loads of different things. We put it into one group, but there are different projects that we work on. So environment, we do a lot of work for DEFRA. We do lots of evaluations, impact assessments, and it's really wide ranging. I've really enjoyed working on work on coastal and flooding erosion. And work like that has been incredible to sort of see real world impact, especially in Norfolk too, when it's sort of not very far away from Norwich, and you can see sort of stories that have been in the news and you can see the impact that you've had. So I really enjoyed having the real world impact in that side, and the same with society too. You can see lots of different ways that your research and your work can feed into your real world impact and policy that's going to affect lots of different people.
Brilliant, sounds great. Okay, and what sort of soft skills or personality traits would serve someone well within your organisation?
Definitely sort of being a good communicator is good. You don't so you work on your own sometimes, but you're part of a team. So you all come together to work on a project, but you'll be given different tasks. So you'll be responsible for a different task, but there's always somebody that you can go to and get an opinion on, advice of what you're doing. So being able to be a good communicator and say what you've done and how you've done it, but also being able to ask questions where needed, because someone's always happy to help out. So just being a good communicator is always a great thing to have. And I would just say getting stuck into different projects. Everyone's super friendly here, and just sort of being able to have that collaboration is great. So you have to sort of get the chance to be independent and do specific tasks, different things, and being responsible for that, and that's great. And you can also see how your part has fed into the overall project, which is great. But I say being a team player and being able to communicate well is always going to be good.
Brilliant, great. Okay, and what do the good and the challenging days look like?
I would say challenging ones can sometimes be sometimes workload can be quite tough. It depends. There's no real sort of pattern to it. Sometimes you get busy days and sometimes you don't. So there's sometimes no way of being able to tell when deadlines are going to come up or when things change, and you have to fit around that. But it's always good that you are part of a team and you can ask a colleague to come help and manage your workload. So that can be tough when sometimes with deadlines approaching. So managing that is just sort of one aspect of the job. I'd say the best parts, the good days, are when it's always amazing when you come to the end of a project and you get to see the final report. And if you've been on that project from the very beginning, it's great to see how it was at the early stages, and you didn't sort of have anything written on paper. It was a brand new start to things, and then when you come to the very end and be able to see how everything's come together and everyone's put in their bits, and it's lovely to see the research that you've done and the work that you've produced and how that feeds into the final report. And also then usually it's a little bit after that, but sometimes how that work is then used to have lasting impact in policy or supporting funding applications and helping authorities get funding to do their programs and support for value for money and the benefits. So sometimes it's a while until you see that, but it's great to see it when it does. And with stuff happening in the news, you can really see how your work is relevant and how it can fit into everything. It's very quite topical, I think, as well. So it's quite good.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, I completely agree. I've worked on a few projects myself sort of before, and it's really rewarding sometimes seeing the end result, isn't it, and the impact that you've had. So yeah, definitely agree on that one. Great. And what experience or research could a young person indulge in to help prepare them for a career in your field?
So with consultancy, you will need a degree. It's not a typical, you don't have to have a particular degree to come work in consultancy. It's such a kind of big field. The way I simply describe it is somebody has a question and they come to you and you help answer it. That's very, very simple. But because of that, you can be an expert or a consultant in so many different fields. So at RPA, we work on environment and chemical consultancy, but there's so many different ones that you can be a part of. So the degree doesn't necessarily matter. Typically here, people have chemistry backgrounds or environmental sciences. For me, I've had economics, which I've done lots of modules that then have I've been able to use the skills that I've learned there and apply them. But majority, I would say 50% of the work I've learned is by doing and is being in the role. So I would say the degree is needed because of the skills you learn at university and then being able to apply them in the job and being able to have that skill set. But the rest is very much there's no training for it. You learn by doing and at the job, which is the best way because then it's sort of hands-on and you can do it. So yeah, I would say anything that you would need a university degree, but pick a subject that you love and enjoy, because then that will lead you to be doing work that's similar and relevant to that further down the line.
Yeah, brilliant. And what do you think things like work experience? Because I know that a lot of people, whilst doing a degree, for example, maybe do work experience alongside. Would that type of thing help? Or possibly even like an apprenticeship? Is there an apprenticeship route into it that you know of or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm sure definitely some consultancies do apprenticeships. We don't do here any at RPA. Or I found really useful when I was at university, I did internships over the summer. And that was great. I actually did that through the university. So I was at UEA and they ran, as part of the School of Economics, internships with lecturers or to help with their research projects and other things like that. And that was really useful. So I actually did one of those every summer in between the different years, which was great to be able to do something that was also very applicable because it was sort of just a separate project, but not as intense perhaps as uni because it wasn't running along at the same time. And that was really good to get experience in the times that you were away from uni. It wasn't too academic in that sense. So and they had excellent collaborations with local authorities as well. So my final year in the summer, I worked with Suffolk County Council, with the lecturer and the association that we had with the council, and was able to do a really interesting research project on there. So I definitely recommend getting involved with things like that because they are really relevant. And then when it comes to graduating, you've already got little bits of experience that you could apply. And I remember when I was applying for jobs, I used that as experience and being able to reflect on things that I'd previously done to give evidence and examples. And I really enjoyed them as well. And even though if you didn't enjoy them, it's a good way just to be like, this isn't for me, or oh yes it is, and then you can go and do something that's similar to that, and you can get just a little taster of something and see how you like it, or don't, whichever.
Yeah, sure, sounds great. Okay, and last question, what piece of career advice would you give to your younger self?
I would say there's no rush with it, and it's absolutely okay to not get it right the first time. If you like something, then that's fantastic, but if you don't, that's also okay. And you've got loads of time to figure out what you want to do. If you decide, you know, a year into the job, it's not for me and I want to try something else, then go for it. You decide 5 years down the line you want to do something and you change your mind, that's also fine. So if things don't go to plan, that's okay. There's loads of time to do stuff, and people change careers all the time. So and equally, it's okay not to have a plan, I would say, in terms of just figuring out what you want to do as you go through it. You can just have a try at something and see what you like and what you don't like, and that also it works. So yeah, there's no rush to do anything or jump into anything, but just take your time and figure out what you like, and every little step is more knowledge, so you get to find out what you like as you go through. So that's probably what I'd say to younger self.
Yeah, perfect. Great. Okay, well, that's it from me. So unless you wanted to add anything else, that's everything from me. So obviously that's been really, really valuable. Thank you for your time. And I'll speak to you later.
Brilliant, thank you.